I'm Ken Amaro, and this is Getting It Done. Today on Getting It Done, we're looking into several issues from how a Jacksonville culinary school is getting students ready in one of the most challenging times for the restaurant industry. Then we'll discuss pet scams and how to protect yourself and what to do if you should become a victim. Then we'll also check in with an ophthalmologist to see how he's coping with changing times. But first, we begin with an issue that is common to so many communities, including ours, the issue of homelessness. There are already a number of nonprofits tackling this issue, but we focus on a Jacksonville attorney who is doing it all by himself and how he's getting it done. During 2020, the corner of Jefferson and Union Streets turned into a homeless camp. For city leaders and some in the community, it became an eyesore and a reason for concern. For Jacksonville attorney Al Barlow, the plight of the homeless became a move of heart. He remembers it. It was on Christmas Eve.
It was raining and it was cold, and I passed a homeless camp right there on the corner of Jefferson and Union, which I had been seeing before, but it just didn't really hit me until that night.
The images of human suffering stuck with him and became difficult for him to move forward.
I just couldn't get them off my mind. I mean, it was just, I just broke down and I just cried. I mean, I had never cried like that in my life. And so my wife was like, well, what's wrong? So I was telling her and my daughter about these people. But to be honest with you, I was kind of angry with God for letting them be in that position.
It would change his perspective on an issue that affects all communities, homelessness, and it would motivate him to address the problem.
I mean, what motivated me was, but by the grace of God, I'm homeless. And I think that's the right perspective to have. These are good people. Bad times have befallen them, and just, I mean, they're great people. I pray over them. They're my friends now. And so these are not the people that a lot of people think. These are not murderers, rapists, robbers, arsonists, kidnappers. These are not necessarily drug dealers.
The Salzbacher Center, a nonprofit that provides services to the homeless, tells us the biggest contributing factor to the issue is a crisis in affordable housing. Barlow, a pastor as well, has now made it his mission to serve the homeless and educate the public.
What I'm trying to do is bring a level of consciousness to the people. So I show these people's plight, and it's very, very difficult to ignore it once you see it in living color.
In January, he began doing what has now become his passion, helping the homeless, not waiting for someone else to do it.
I run into 3 different types of people out here, Ken. The first one, they really feel sorry for the people, honestly, but they won't lift a finger to help them. They honestly feel bad, but they won't help them. The second person feels bad enough to do something about it. They will actually help. They will give them the shirt off their back. Then unfortunately, you got a third person. Not only are they not gonna help, they don't want you to help. Because the more you help, the more it condemns their heart to not do what God wants all of us to do. So I'm learning a lot out here dealing with these people.
Why do you think it has gotten apparently worse than it was 20, 30, 40 years ago?
Because we, the people, are not holding our elected officials accountable. There's enough blame to go around with each successive administration.
After working in the community for months, Barlow now believes the city needs to do more. He says it takes a commitment.
I have the president of the Jacksonville Jaguars agree with me in a public meeting that they have a responsibility to take care of these people, and if the city of Jacksonville passes an ordinance to reserve 2% of the money that they give out, he supports it as long as they're not exclusively getting it from the Jaguars. Yet the city, and I've sent it to every city councilman and the mayor, yet they won't do the ordinance.
He has become a voice for this voiceless community.
They don't have a voice. That's one of the reasons I'm using everything that God has given me. I'm using my law office, I'm using my ministerial pursuits, I'm using my connections and everything else, Facebook, Twitter, whatever I have, to be a voice for these voiceless people.
And while he fights the politics on one end, every Friday he takes $500 in gift cards to the homeless community, a small contribution to making a change.
So I've been doing it 10 months, and every Friday I bring about $500 worth of grocery gift cards. Used to be $20 increments, now they're $10 increments because I can give out more cards.
Barlow says it's become a spiritual movement, and it's been emotional. And every day he is looking for ways to get it done.
I fight back tears now because, to be honest with you, and I think I told you this, If I didn't tell it to you, I've told it to many other people. I am 60 years old. By the grace of God, I've accomplished many things through God's grace and mercy. But I'll be honest with you, I believe my whole life set me up to do what I'm getting ready to do. What I'm doing now, what I've been doing, and what I'm going to continue to do for these people until I die.
Attorney Barlow says this is his calling. He's encouraged by the fact that other communities in Florida, like Miami, are now seeing a decline in their homeless population. He believes that we can have the same results right here in Jacksonville. When we come back, we're going into the kitchen, so to speak, to see what they're cooking up.